The next story here is around Facebook, aka Meta.
Meta.
And their $1 billion fund for creators. So they would love to buy TikTok and they can't. So they are competing by offering more money. So I know that they had a thing where if you had your watermark, your TikTok watermark in your video, they would like demote it. And they just recently, not that recently, but they started Reels, Instagram Reels. And I actually just saw someone post some stats about how much visibility he was getting from posts directly on his page, videos directly on his page, IGTV, and then Reels. And Reels was like 10 times the visibility. And he was basically like, yeah. And he was like, basically like, if you're going to do Instagram, just focus on Reels. But what's funny about Reels is that if you use Creator Studio or Business Suite in order for scheduling your content, any social media managers might know about this, you cannot schedule your Reels through Creator Studio or Business Suite, but you can schedule your Reels in the Instagram app. So that was been our, we haven't been uploading our stories as Reels yet because of that limitation and just trying to be effective with our time in scheduling thing. But now that I saw those stats around how much more visibility Reels are getting, I'm going to go all in on the Reels. So they got a $1 billion fund for creators. I got it here up on my screen. And again, this is right from, in this case, I'm on business.instagram.com. And so, all these platforms, they always have like a place where they put out press releases whenever they're like, put out these funds, right? So that's how you can find out about some of these funds. So it says by the end of 2022, we plan to invest over $1 billion in programs that give creators new ways to earn money for the content they create on Facebook and Instagram. From artists to style experts and budding entertainers, creators drive so much of the passion and creativity we see across our apps. We want to copy TikTok. So they got live audio rooms. Oh, dude, I heard that they were actually they have this feature where you can like connect your podcast to your Facebook page. And I tried it and it looks like crap when you do it. It like, I ended up putting it in and then I noticed that every time we upload, it just like puts out like a crappy looking post. It was a really bad implementation of podcasts on Facebook, but I heard they're taking it away, which was pretty quick, but it's like, they didn't even do it properly. Like, it was such a bad implementation. So I actually don't know about live audio rooms. I didn't even know that they had that. I noticed that on Twitter, which I wouldn't mind talking about Twitter a little bit. They had a really cool feature on audio rooms. So,
well, I just clicked on that link, but this was published back in June 21st. And you were saying that feature was brand new, weren't you?
No, sorry. I was thinking about the podcast feature that wasn't there, but this is live audio room, which is a copy of what's it called? I think.
Oh, Clubhouse.
Yeah, Clubhouse. They were copying Clubhouse. Yeah. So, and I think Clubhouse got an offer.
Oh, did really? Because Twitter, I think Twitter just copied them. Now,
everyone copied them. Yeah. So the guy or whatever it was that had it, like he should have sold it because it was banging during COVID lockdowns. People were really getting on there.
Oh,
right?
Big time.
But I think he got a pretty big offer, and he was like, "Oh, I'm going to build the next social network." Like I would just sell, man. You get $1 billion.
Is it still doing well though? Because I feel like ever since Twitter copied, it kind of went off a cliff. Yeah, because Twitter already had the users.
I would love to talk about Twitter actually after this one because I have some new insights on Twitter. So they also have Bolden, a platform for independent writers. I did not even know about Bolden.
Yeah, me too.
Discover fresh voices, tune into blah, blah, blah. So I guess this is like blogging on, is that what this is? Dude, I did not even know.
A platform for independent writers.
Yeah.
So this is like their version of Medium. Is that right?
Yeah. I didn't know.
Which makes sense because Medium was created by Twitter people. So it makes sense that Facebook would, or Meta would. Yeah. Yeah, interesting.
So where can I find Bolden articles and podcasts? So Bolden articles and podcasts can be found on individual creator publication pages. Interesting. I did not know about Bolden. So yeah, they also have like, it's not even in here, but what is, they got stars. What stars? Creators. So I'm on facebook.com/creator/tools/stars. And I guess this is it's kind of like giving like little gifts or whatever you want to call it to like you buy, I guess you would buy some stars you can give out. And then
like a reward.
Introducing affiliates and new shop. Yeah, I know. So when they have like Instagram shop, you could be an affiliate. I know about that. I also noticed it's not even in here, but they have Facebook instant articles, and instant articles are mobile only links to your content. It's very similar to Google AMP, where it's just like a mobile version of your article.
Oh yeah.
And then there's ads in there, which works kind of like Google AdSense. And you have to have, I think, like 100,000 visitors a month in order to be qualified for that. But then when you open a link with instant articles on Facebook, there's a little lightning bolt next to it. So when you're on the app and you see a little lightning bolt next to the link, when you open it, it'll open like immediately. Where normally when you click on a link, it takes 10 seconds to load. Instant articles is a really good feature too, which is another way that I guess, publishers can get paid, which is not even in this this article. I guess this is some new features they're talking about. So they got, they're talking about here like badges, stars, IGTV ads, in-stream video ads, reels, right? So there's a whole bunch of new features. It's interesting where they'll roll out these features and then take them away. So here we go. We got in-stream ads, IGTV ads, badges, stars, fan subscriptions. I remember that one. That was for Instagram. Paid online events. That's interesting too. Branded content, affiliate stuff or Google Shopping, and then they got creator shopping tools. It's getting messy, man. There's like a lot of...
I was you just took the words right out of my mouth, man. It's getting messy, but I mean, the one positive that we can call out of all of this news that we're highlighting is the fact that these platforms are working their butts off to make sure creators receive compensation for the content that they create. And so I love seeing that direction, but it's, things are getting pretty messy. There's no denying that.
It is like the way you manage Facebook pages now, where they have Creator Studio, they have Business Suite, depending on your page type. So I have like one of my pages is set up as like a personal brand, like my Matt Astifan digital page is personal. So I notice when I go there, it makes me want to it like forces me to use Facebook as the page. But when I'm on the web-friendly Facebook page and that's set up as like a brand, then it's like I'm just myself and I'm looking at it and I can see my stats and whatever. It's just so confusing. The whole experience is like you really have to really know. Like for me, I've been on Facebook for a long time. I taught Facebook, so I've seen the evolution of the pages and so on. So I'm able to kind of figure out what's going on. But even just trying to like fix it and switch it and like, like when you use like Business Suite versus Creator Studio, I don't want to get into the nuances, but there's a reason to use both, and it's like, what the going on with both of these things? So it's getting really messy. And I think Zuckerberg needs to come in and just be like, yo guys, like, let's clean this up because it's getting way too confusing for people to figure this out. And, I
need to say something on this here too, because I used to work in social media, not to the same capacity that you have, but I worked for an American tech startup company as their social media manager, and I've definitely had some time in that space, and I got the sense that a lot of people just kind of boo-hoo that side of things of marketing, unfortunately, and I mean not everybody, but some people certainly spoke as if, it's social media. Let's just get a free intern in here to do it like a few hours a day. And it just boggles the mind every single time I hear someone speak like that about social media, because you just hit it on the head right there. The interfaces are constantly changing. Every platform has a completely different interface. You legitimately, if you want to be in business and you want to deploy social media marketing, you legitimately need to hire a full-time team member or outsource it to an agency, or you have to task someone who lives and breathes this stuff. You literally need people that live and breathe this stuff. I'm sorry, but the days of like bringing in like some free intern to do it for a couple hours a day, long gone. And if you go that route, your social media is going to look like garbage. Yeah.
So we've been having the challenge when we were setting up our distribution channels for this. We've gone through a few social media managers, and I just noticed like they're making a lot of mistakes. So like as I said, like last week they uploaded a video with the caption for like a different video and like the wrong thumbnails, and like I'm just like, oh my god, because there's like a lot of but we have everything really like step-by-step processes, but easy to mess it up. But really quick, before we go on to our last story, I just want to mention this is around Twitter Blue. So I think this is interesting because Twitter is moving towards a paid subscription, so that way users are paying to use it. And I actually think that this is awesome. So if they can get people paying to use Twitter, it's going to get rid of a lot of the spam and all the even like all the censorship stuff that's going on. If people have a real identity and it's tied to, they're paying for it, they don't want to lose their accounts. Plus, like they're a real person, they got like their credit card associated to their account. It's like $3 a month, $3.50 or something like that.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it unlocks some other features. We don't have to go through all the features. You guys can go check it out. I got the article open here, but just Google Twitter Blue and you'll see it. But one thing that was interesting actually for us, Andrew, is that I noticed that there's a feature there where you could see the top stories for everybody you follow. So we were trying to figure out a way to find trending stories and so on. And I figured out so cool. This was the way. So what I actually ended up doing is I don't know if I should mention, but like I unfollowed a whole bunch of people on my Twitter so that way I can clean it up so I could use this. So I just did that on the web friendly account. So now I paid for Twitter Blue, and I'm also curious to see if we're going to get more reach from Twitter Blue. So I'll report back on the show because I just did this yesterday, and I'm curious now to see if our reach is going to go up, which would be interesting. So yes, cool. $3.50 Canadian.
I see that
here. Some cool features, there's like a tip jar if you look in like pay you tips and stuff like that, I guess. There's an undo button.
It's not an edit button. This is a great feature. This is a great move by Twitter, and I would totally sign up for this.
Okay, so I got a question for you here. Here's my thought. If Facebook, so I find Facebook now, I've got like 4,000 friends on Facebook. I open up Facebook. It's very toxic. A lot of people I don't even know, just talking a bunch of random stuff, right? And I don't enjoy Facebook. Like I get on there, I'm like, I gotta get this off. Like I deleted the Facebook app off my phone for like 2 years, right? I just put it back on like a few months ago. I was off Facebook for a long time because I was like, it was just garbage, right? But I was thinking, if they had a paid subscription, I would then know who's active and who wants to be there. Right? And if I could sort my feed by my friends who are paying to be on Facebook, and I think the content would be way better. So I was thinking, if they move to a paid service where there's no ads, right? Maybe you get a bit more flexibility. Maybe they'll call it less censorship or something, like, I don't know, something like that. There could be other features they can include in it, right? But how much do you think people would pay? I feel like Facebook is a friend relationship system. You have like a CRM, customer relationship system. I think Facebook is like a friend relationship system. So how much do you think that they could charge for Facebook? What would you pay?
This is a really great subject. So I'm already paying $15 a month Canadian for YouTube Premium. It looks like, and Twitter is now targeting $3.50 for Twitter Blue, Canadian currency we're talking about here. I don't know. I'm like, I would probably consider like $10 a month. I'd like split the difference. Because I wouldn't spend $15 a month because I spend way less time on Facebook than I do on YouTube. YouTube Premium is easily worth $15 to me because I spend so much time on that platform. But Facebook, I'd say $7 to $10. I would be like, yeah, sign me up.
No problem. I was thinking I would pay like $20.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, 7 to 10 because most people wouldn't, like a personal, and also they could base it on your age, stuff like that, right? But then it could be like $20 for a business, and you could have a certain amount of pages on there. And like, imagine I could just pay to have one of my pages, and then it also kind of gives me a bit more reach. If they just said for $20 a month, we'll give you a little bit more reach, I'd be like, sure, I'll try it out.
Yeah,
right. So I think that if Facebook moved to a paid model and then somehow addressed this idea of the algorithm, censorship, whatever, that sort of stuff. And if I could just sort my feed by people who paid for it, I feel like I would get better content. Like, I think there's something there that if Facebook moved to a paid model, I think it would just transform Facebook. I think it would bring it back. Because right now, Facebook is dying. Like, Twitter died over the last few years. Twitter's really died. But now it's coming back for so many reasons, right? The Elon Musk thing, and it's been coming back, right? Like, I think Trump is kind of what brought it back and people getting more active on there. So now I'm like back on Twitter. I'm like, it reminds me of what it was like back in 2009, where there was real conversations. Because there was a long time where people were it was just a bunch of bots. And we were just spewing crap all the time.
And there's still a lot of spams. Lots of spammy stuff on there. Yeah, scams is what I meant to say, actually. Scam. Yeah. Like there's Twitter scams all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah. But like, I think it was like 2016-ish, 2015, like in that kind of time period where like Twitter was useless, And now I think it's making a comeback. And I think the idea of Twitter Blue can really help. So I'm very interested. And then I saw when I signed up for Twitter Blue, I started noticing people doing these spaces, and you could actually get paid to host your own audio space.
Yeah.
So there were some things around it, like you had to host 3, and then you had to had a certain amount of people on it. It was something like that. There were some things, but then after some time, you can actually get paid to host an audio space. So I definitely want to do it because I think it'd be interesting just to have a little mastermind around marketing. So if you guys listening want to do something like that, go follow the Web Friendly Twitter account, because I'm definitely going to do that. So yeah, I just think this is really cool, and I'm hoping that more platforms will follow along, so that way they're less ad driven.
And it is, yes, 100%. And it's funny how you just said that you've got what you said, over 4,000 Facebook friends, and you've just noticed that the platform as a whole has become quite toxic. I'm not making this up. Before hitting the record today, making this episode with you, I responded to a Facebook post that I saw the person complaining about inflation, governments, businesses, the price of everything going up and stuff, and I commented, and it turned into a little bit of a back and forth, and then I did like one last comment, and I left the conversation because I could tell it was going to like a really unhealthy place, and I didn't want to put myself in like a negative headspace before hitting the record button with you here today, Matt. But it's unfortunate that there are so many people on Facebook that it has become a very toxic place. It just has, and that's unfortunate. And I try my very best to really cultivate what kind of content that I'm consuming and participating in, because I want to protect my mindset, right? I always think about that stuff, and I want to surround myself with positive people. That's one of the reasons why I like the idea of co-hosting the show with you. I find you to be a very positive guy there, Matt, and I want to surround myself with more positive people. And man, Facebook. I couldn't agree with you more. Facebook has turned into a really, really political and negative Nancy kind of place. It's really hard. It's just terrible. It's terrible. People just want to fight with each other all the time. They just want to complain and moan and whine, and it's like, who's got time for that?
But people are still using it, right? Like I do think that they need to go through a transformation, and it's definitely down right now in terms of people wanting it. And like Mark Zuckerberg has a horrible personal brand, and
yeah,
there's definitely something there. I think if they did paid accounts, I think that they could really transform it.
Yeah, agreed.